quarantining in a place with a mouse in Chelsea for 14 days. We were celebrating prediction week before the 2020 season kicked off. You had a volleyball with Wilson on. It was all very weird, almost a blur. But here we are, 12 weeks in, and things have changed a little and a lot, really. We thought it's about time that we went back and looked at the predictions that we made for all the big awards, all the top categories this season, and see where we stand. And I do believe we decided as a team to maybe offer some mulligans.
Let's do it. One.
A little bit. Yeah, one mulligan. Okay, Nate.
If you want.
Here's what you answered, Nate, during prediction week this year.
Yes, take another look. So here we are. We got Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald. I went with a big swing. Bengals coach Zach Taylor. You know, and there's some moments where you could have saw it. It was possible. Joe Burrow was having a good year. MVP, Lamar Jackson. Chiefs over Buccaneers. And you know what? I'm not going to change that. I'll write that one out. All right. And then, you know, here's my playoff picture. I think the Pats, of course, and the Bills was one big mistake. The Bengals didn't have the season. Of course, you never know what's going to happen with the NFC East. But I do like the Packers, Buccaneers, the Seahawks. Saints, you guys are legit. Don't start hitting me up and tweet me. All right. You guys are in the playoffs. But one mulligan. One swap. One thing I want to change. I want to change the MVP. And I know you're like, Nate, I knew you were going to change the Pat Mahomes. I'm not. I'm changing to Derrick Henry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like the league MVP right now is Derrick Henry. Just think about this. The Titans, as well as they're playing, if they can take this type of momentum into the playoffs off of the back of Derrick Henry, as we know, he heats up later in games. He heats up later in season.
Right.
What if he has a few more 150-yard games or even a 200-yard game?
Sure.
Are you telling me this guy isn't the most valuable player on the field? And let's be very clear. Pat Mahomes is legit. He's the dude. He's the future at the quarterback position. But he also has some really talented wide receivers and pass catchers. For a large part of this offense, it's all about Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill plays well because of that. Those receivers are more open because of that. Derrick Henry is the league MVP right now.
I like that one.
I like it. I like it a lot. At Team FP, with your thoughts, did you think something was going to happen and it didn't? There's ups, there's downs. You can change it. We'll give you a mulligan today. Let's move on and see what Peter predicted. A very tan Peter Schrader.
Oh my gosh.
Here were your answers during predictions this year.
All right, I thought Devin White was going to jump off the page. He's been good. He's had some Defensive Player of the Week awards, but he has not been the Defensive Player of the Year. I thought Belichick and the Patriots would take care of business and everyone would say, wow, that man, he really is the genius.
They won 3 or 4?
It's still possible.
Still possible. Deshaun Watson, and I had Chiefs over Bucks. I'm not going to get off of that. Let's look at the playoff teams, though, because
See the playoffs.
there is a team omitted on that page that I need to seek pittance for.
Make amends with?
Yeah, I have the Lions in the playoffs, and all due respect to the Lions, and I didn't think the Saints were making the playoffs this year. I thought the Saints were going to have issues because of their offseason being as rocky as it was and all the stuff with Breeze. And I was like, I don't know if that team can bring it together for a 4th straight year after those 3 bad playoff losses. So that is my mulligan. But there's one that I'm not changing.
What's that?
I'm not changing my MVP pick. I had Deshaun Watson as the MVP.
Really?
Right now, it's between Mahomes, it's between Derrick Henry, and it's probably between Rodgers and Wilson. But Deshaun Watson's got 5 weeks left here, and Deshaun Watson, if you haven't been watching, has been the best player in every game he has stepped on the field since the start of October. Here's just his last 6 games, averaging 290 yards a game, 15 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Look at that.
A passer rating 122.3.
Oh, my God.
And if you look at the remaining schedule for the Texans, I know they got 4 wins. All right, everyone, relax. I know they got 4 wins. If you beat the Colts, which is doable based on what we saw at Indianapolis last week. If you go into Chicago and beat Trubisky, your draft class brethren, that's a possibility. Colts again, Bengals, that's a win. And who knows, week 17, say they win out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They finish 9-7, and the Texans make the playoffs, and without Will Fuller, or without Roby, or without Hopkins, I'm not changing my pick. I'm sticking with Deshaun Watson as my preseason MVP. Even at the 4-7 record they're on, I'm stubborn. I'm doubling down.
I don't hate it. Let's look at Kyle's predictions. We saw you, of course, have the Steelers winning the Super Bowl. What else you got?
I got all kinds of stuff. Let's take a look. Here we go. Back in the day, Defensive Player of the Year, Jamal Adams missed a lot of time. That's not going to happen. Joe Judge, I'm sticking with it. Don't care. Love it.
Love it.
Dak Prescott got injured. He might have won the MVP. Steelers over Buccaneers, absolutely I'm sticking with it. But let's get into the division picks. All right, my NFC on the bottom is a mess. The AFC's beautiful. Bills, Steelers, Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Broncos, Dolphins.
Pretty
all right?
flawless.
The AFC, my AFC is the best I've ever done. So for that thing, I'm going to go to the one imperfection. I'm going to go to the Cindy Crawford mole and the Michael Strahan teeth. Get the Broncos out of there.
I love that mole.
I'm sorry. I'm taking the Broncos out. and I'm putting the Ravens in. I'm putting the Ravens in, not the Colts. I'm putting the Baltimore Ravens. Got massacred for not having the Ravens even in the playoffs. I'm putting them in. I know it's not pretty right now. I know the schedule is soft, and I know that they have a great coach and an MVP quarterback. I'm not sure how they're going to figure this out because the offense is bad, and it's spinning its tires, and they just don't have a lot of moxie right now. I think they're going to get it back. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to make a playoff run. They ain't winning the North, but they are getting to the playoffs, and I will have a perfect American football conference. NFC's a mess, but I like the AFC.
You want to see mine really quick?
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, Kyle, let's take a look at what I predicted before the season kicked off. Minka Fitzpatrick, 4 interceptions on the year. He's the leader of a secondary of the #1 defense in the NFL.